Hello, my name's Andrew O'Connor. I'm the director of Magicians, and this is the commentary. We're very excited about this, and in the room I have many, many people, possibly the most ever, gathered together for one commentary on one British comedy film.
45,000.
There literally are. They won't all talk, though. First of all, we have our two stars, David Mitchell and Robert Webb.
Hello, I'm Robert, I play Carl.
I'm David, I play Harry.
We have the two writers of the movie, Sam Bain and Jesse Armstrong.
Hello, Sam Bain here, one of the writers.
And Jesse Armstrong also writing.
Not at the moment.
I am.
Literally.
All this is grist to the mill.
And the producer of the film, Mr. Ollie Madden.
Hello.
So, rather than us all just talking over each other and seeing who can be the funniest, we thought we'd sort of do little sections each, although we may still pop in and say stuff. So, starting us off, I'm Mitchell and Webb.
Hello again.
Hello there.
Now, these are genuine
That's
pictures
me,
of
that's
us
me as
when we were
Zorro.
little.
I did used to run around dressed up as Zorro.
Me with the spectacles of a much larger man.
Mm-hmm.
That was, we looked in vain through our old photos for pictures of us with magic wands or you know, Tommy Cooper fezzes, and there weren't any.
No. That's real. That was real. Wasn't it?
Yeah, we did that.
We did that.
Yeah.
The rest of it is lies and trickery.
Are you going to do that anymore now that you've discovered you can do that?
No.
It's the option, you know, the opportunity doesn't come up very often. Those were special photos that we had to take. That's not genuine. They're from our youth. I've never had hair like that.
No. I used to wish I had hair like that, but now I think better of it.
You had a bad back that day.
I did. Well, getting in and out of that box is murder on the lower back
Yes.
if you're a sufferer. But I'm also an actor and therefore a bit of a wuss.
And that trick with the box is called the sub-trunk. It's a famous magic trick, and you spent a lot of time rehearsing that. And it takes 3 seconds in the movie, and
Yeah.
no one thinks it's real.
But we were sort of worried that obviously that Harry and Carl aren't brilliant magicians, but they are making a living. And we thought the best way, I think we agreed this with you, Andrew, that the best way of making them look about as good as they would be for us to really try as hard as we can to do a
best work you
fantastic
could
show.
do, yeah.
And
So
then it
that
would look
was
a bit bad.
Us doing our very best.
Yeah.
And that was in a venue in Butlins, that theatre. That was a real theatre. That was a real audience.
Butlins and Skegness.
People genuinely go there to have a nice time, and
did.
good luck to them.
A real sticky floor and real smells in the morning.
Cabbage.
Very strong smell of cabbage throughout Butlins.
But I think we brought that with us, to be fair.
Did we?
Yeah.
We had it pumped in
Yeah.
in order to depress the actors.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. No.
That box was made by a magician called Scott Penrose, and Scott Penrose is a member of the he's actually on the council of the Magic Circle. He made that magic box for us, and he also plays Magibot in the movie.
And that means he has powers to destroy people with the blasts from his fingers.
He literally can do that.
Was he one of the members of the Magic Circle who threw you out of the Magic Circle?
Oh,
He
jeez.
took you by one leg and one arm, while Gandalf took you by the other.
Yes.
Ridicule
Chucked
the
you into-
circle now. This is hard
Chucked you
enough as it
into a
is.
Skip.
I made a TV show that got me thrown out of the Magic Circle.
What was it called?
It was called Secrets of Magic Revealed.
What did they object to?
It's got
What's the problem?
Careers of Magicians Ruined, it was called.
Yeah, so I was thrown out of the Magic Circle for that. But they were the Circle sort of forgiven me, and they were very helpful making this film.
And so much so, in fact, we don't refer to them. We call them the Magic Table. Or
The Magic
there is a
Table.
fictional organisation which may or may not have any similarity to the Magic Circle.
The little badge is quite similar.
Yeah.
Where's Carl?
But I think when Sam and I were doing a bit of research on the film, you directed us to, are they the International Brotherhood of Magicians? That's the
The
conference
IBM,
that we went
IBM, a
to,
big magic. You went to a real magic convention, didn't you? And
Yeah.
later on in the movie, you'll see them.
where they were doing real magic.
They did real magic, and in fact, some of the magicians that you saw inspired some of the characters in this movie. I think it's fair to say.
Absolutely.
Now, they had to build that box specially because real sawing a lady in half boxes
Couldn't really get
aren't,
two people
they're not
in
big
at
enough
the
to have
same
sex
time.
in.
They're not.
Yeah, even that box, it's not quite clear what exactly they were getting up
Yeah.
to.
No.
It just looked like they were having a bit of a one-person nude, one person with clothes on cuddle.
In
We've all
Storytime-
enjoyed them.
In Storytime,
The film way.
in Storytime, it's supposed to be oral sex, but I'm not sure you could have got down there
I
in
don't
that
think so.
box.
My wife made that very point.
Did she?
Yes.
Filthy-minded wife.
My
So should we talk about the guillotine and how scary it was?
It was pretty scary.
Genuinely a very scary object and very, very noisy.
Yeah.
I think I've never had my head in it, but
If you're
I've...
fiddling around with those locks right next to people's ears there, that gets pretty noisy. And then when it comes down, people's ears blow up. I mean, it didn't. Everything was very carefully looked after by Andrew and his team of wizards.
But people were genuinely scared. People were scared. Have we just,
It's a
just
pretty
check?
intimidating object, let's face
Is
it.
it safe? Can we check? Is that blade safe? That's not going to fall at any point, is it? No, the 7 safety mechanisms are actually there. All right, here's a real trick you learnt.
Yes, and I was very pleased when we did a screening of it that people genuinely winced. And I think winced at it being a nasty moment rather than winced at a trick done badly. So here it comes.
Flesh into the bone.
There you go.
Oh, it's quite gruesome.
That's good.
Right, please.
Oh, and you to the moment where the change back to a
Yeah.
real knife, done very nicely there. Well done.
This knife basically.
Again, we shot this really in the real Wilkinson,
I'm sorry.
and people were shopping while we were making the movie.
And getting a little pissed off that we're in their way.
There was a little bit of that.
The problem is that is a great
I was being
trick.
fitted for my wedding suit upstairs in the storeroom.
We should stress that you didn't buy this. You didn't buy your suit.
No, it's a Wilco suit.
They do beautiful suits, don't they? They do
Famous
quite
one.
cheap crockery, but absolutely the most expensive suits available.
Greetings. I am.
Now, at one moment, I was going to be having a goatee beard throughout the entire film. And I even let I even grew some, I even had a go at growing one myself. And it wasn't as bushy as that, but it was reasonable. About the same length as Darren's got at the moment. And then it was decided, because we were shooting out of order, we thought, oh, you have to shave that off, and then we'll stick a fake one on instead. And then it was decided, I was very grateful for this decision. Actually, let's forget about the whole facial hair.
It was the very first day of filming, and we were shooting in these TV production offices, and I hadn't directed a film before, and I was very, very, very scared. You know, where do you put the camera? The lighting's taking forever, and you come out and you've got this beard on, and I think it's not quite right, is it? And the minute we put it on film once, you've got to work for it. So we had it trimmed and trimmed. And I said, you know what? Let's just lose it, and that was a scary moment. Sam, Jesse, who was there that day?
That was me, yeah. I remember that.
I think the problem is that when someone who you know doesn't have a beard comes on with a stuck-on beard, it's impossible to tell whether or not it looks real, because you know it isn't real, so it will always look fake to you.
But also, I remember you couldn't talk
No,
entirely freely
you
with
never
it on.
really can. You never really can talk properly with it when it's just glued on in a good old British TV or film kind of way. I think they have more special methods on films with bigger budgets, maybe. But yeah,
I think it probably is growing them and then shooting it in story order.
It could be
Right.
quite literally as complicated as that.
But I just thought that, you know, I needed you guys to be on a big screen, see your facial reactions. And quite a lot of your face was covered up
Yeah.
or immobilised by the glue.
Exactly.
And that's what sort of put me off.
We just did it in Peep Show, didn't we, David?
Yeah.
And we had mixed feelings about that. And
I think it sort of worked
Me
in
too.
the end, but you cut down the amount I had to have it on. It was very annoying.
Just
Miranda
That's
Hart's very
Miranda
funny in
Hart,
this.
yeah.
We should have introduced Darren Boyd here and Jessica
We should have
Stevenson we
also
saw
introduced
earlier.
Sarah Handland, who you saw having her head chopped off.
We didn't do any of that.
Didn't do any of that. Sorry.
She was brilliant.
Guys.
Just keep moving. Just really not sure this is a good idea.
Hello, I'm here for Caroline. Thanks.
you could do a general introduction list of everyone in the film
I do need to see your passes.
You have seen.
at this point. Since we got
I wanted to do a little movement to, like, using the force to close the lift door, but my director thought that was a little too much.
Little too much, I thought, but I could have been wrong. I probably was.
this is genuinely shot in a television production company.
Yeah, it
One
really is.
that coincidentally the director of this film owns.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't know how we managed to get that
I don't know.
genuine location.
That's how tight the budget was.
Yeah.
In fact, basically the whole of the movie is basically shot.
Costs, it
You
turns
know, the
out
houses that I
In and around.
to hire the room in any television production company was going to cost about £2 million to hire for the afternoon.
Yeah.
I think, Talkback would charge that. So,
You're actually Lord Mayor of Skegness, is that right?
And
So it was
spent a lot of
easy
time
to
in
film there.
Skegness.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now, if you return to the window and look out of it, you will see the exact word
But I-
which I have just implanted.
But here's Andrea. Andrea
Andrew Riseborough.
coming up.
Now that shot took quite a lot of work, didn't it?
Yeah, we shot it in lots of different sizes, and then in the end we resized it in the edit to make it slightly closer. We really did shoot that off the bridge, Westminster Bridge.
Had to get permission from Tony Blair, is that right?
We did, for the Dick Wood. Can you hang Dick Wood on a banner?
Yeah, he insisted on monitoring the afternoon's filming.
Andrew looking very, very beautiful. Director of photography, James Welland, I think makes a lot. You look great as well, obviously, Rob.
Thank you.
Particularly gorgeous in that shot, I think. And here's a trick coming up from you.
Yes, a little bit of sleight of hand.
And this was the scene. This was our first scene where we were going to shoot this with the beard. This was the very first day's film.
Yeah, it would have looked shit, wouldn't it?
Exactly. Wow.
Here's a trick.
Here we go.
Have my car.
And I actually did that, and only on the third or fourth take, fifth.
Yeah, and I think I went like that. Can't quite hear him. Oh, well done. In my scared first day of directing sort of way. Like
This was the first day, wasn't it?
Yeah, very first day. And this line coming up now,
Walk with me, Carl.
that was put in later. It wasn't really there.
Magic behind the magic.
So here you go. Sort of magic behind the magic.
No, this is a genuine magic shop, isn't it?
Genuine
What's
magic
it,
shop.
Is it called
It's
Davenport?
called Davenport's Magic
Yeah,
Shop.
and it's in underneath Charing Cross Station.
It is.
And isn't it the oldest magic shop in London?
I think almost definitely, yeah. It used to be in Great Russell Street opposite the British Museum. And when I was a child magician, I bought my first ever tricks there. And the man who sold them to me is in the movie. You'll meet him in a little bit.
I think it's a shame that they had to move from Great Russell Street to underneath a mainline station. I imagine that day wasn't a happy day for that business.
Although it is quite great the way it's you all the other shops are, you sort of turn right when you come out of Charing Cross station and you're underground, and it is sort of like something slightly magic because you turn left and there's no other shops and nobody would walk that way except for somebody who's going to get some magic stuff. So it feels, I think it is kind of
a little bit of a sort of Diagon Alley about it.
There definitely is.
It really is, yeah.
We just saw Marek Larwood and Tim Plester, who play the Magic Geeks
And
in the
indeed,
film.
Mitchell Webb and Bain and Armstrong's stalwart Jeff McGivern there.
So this is nice.
Yeah,
You've got a
Jeffrey.
nice flat.
And that's Jessica Stevenson, who we didn't introduce when she was in Wilkinson's, but now we can.
Here she is, with more time.
The song in this scene changed a lot, didn't it? We had originally Bonnie Tyler, Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Yes,
That couldn't
where
be
Jessica
cleared.
kept turning around during the turnaround bits and miming all the stuff.
Basically, that.
It was a happy day, wasn't it, when we got clearance and also agreement from everybody that we should do Gay Bar, because I think Sam and I, we spent quite a long time, and we all spent quite a long time
Writing it.
listening to lots of little tracks, thinking what would be good.
People always ask me if Jessica made the movements up herself, and I always go, no, she didn't.
Yes, she did, though.
Did she? Yeah. That's not true, is it?
Well, she made up some of them. The fallout from nuclear war, she did herself.
Right.
I think a lot of some of the others are written.
I think you literally did make a cloud like an atomic bomb going off.
Yeah,
didn't you?
yeah.
It was a script.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not taking anything away from her brilliance. I think she's.
But the
wonderful.
skin falling off and the hair, the shock of her hair falling out in the fallout.
The acid rain.
The acid rain, which
If you can't.
is there in the performance, that was not written.
I guess we should talk for a second about her, about Jessica, about it was quite a difficult part to cast this. And the fascinating thing about casting a movie is that people come in, and we were all there, all of us. Well, not Robert and David, but Sam and Jesse and Ollie. And people would come in and read the script, and sometimes it just wouldn't be funny. They just wouldn't get the cadence or the rhythm of the script. But then some people just came in and had a natural feel for it, and Jessica absolutely from that very first audition.
And she's amazing, definitely.
She sort of claimed the part, didn't she?
She's a dream actor to write for because she kind of makes everything real and everything likeable and everything funny.
That's not funny, though.
No,
That's definitely not funny.
Well, again, we spent a lot of time on this about the editing choices. Do you go close? Do we cut to David for reactions? And in the end, we just sort of decided, and Sam, you felt this very strong, that we should just have a wide shot and let her just perform.
Well, it's kind of that car crash moment, isn't it, of David's reaction, which makes it, hopefully.
What was your favourite bit?
The bit where you were on the floor.
What's your favourite bit, David and Robert, of the movie?
So look,
Of the movie,
Yeah.
it's not magic.
Not of the dance.
I'll let you know when it happens.
Well,
It's too soon to say.
Maybe at the end we can all decide what our favourite moment of the movie is.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah,
so you're
fun.
saying what you're saying is basically keep tuned.
Yeah, don't listen, do not go away. Or fast forward, that's your choice. You can fast forward hoping that you'll catch it.
Yeah, but what jewels are they going to miss on the way?
That's a very, very good point.
None of us at this moment know.
No. Very nice selection of shirts we put you in, David.
4 to 8 years.
Yes,
Yeah, lots of-
I was very comfortable in those
That looks
shirts.
like a
Actually.
very magic shirt, actually.
I think it was Ollie that said I looked like a Nigerian taxi driver.
I may have made that comment.
So that is the real Darren Brown,
Carl watching a bit of Darren Brown.
who let us use some footage from his TV show.
Courtesy of Objective Productions, Andrew's company, again.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you, Darren, for letting us use your clip in the show. David Blaine poster, that's a real David Blaine poster in the background there.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
And there's a shot that we cut from this scene in which David and Harry ask Carl whether he wants to go to the competition, and Carl looks up at a poster which Otto has designed for him, which is a spider diagram planning his career.
A Carl for Brazil, a Carl for Slovakia.
Yeah.
Franchisability.
Franchisability.
Erotica.
Erotica.
That's me looking at it, probably. Oh no, it's coming up.
Yeah, you'll really notice this. He looks up to a poster and we don't cut to it.
And there are loads of little scenes we cut from around this section of the film that we filmed, and they should be on the DVD in the deleted scenes section, but we all kind of felt that it needed a bit of speeding up at this point.
There were 3 sort of little audition of assistant scenes that
Which were very funny.
Yeah,
we were sad to lose.
Yeah, we were. And there's a really great scene where Carl and Otto are playing chess. And it's just great. I really love it. I love the way it's shot and I love the performances. But we just felt that at this point, we really wanted to get to the competition because you were going into a world that you hadn't been to before. And it just felt the film sort of really took off and started there.
Plus, also the audition scenes in the van, I think we felt were a bit cliched.
Yeah.
Of other films like Shallow Grave, we've seen that sort of thing before. We felt it wasn't
Commitment.
entirely.
The succession of comedy types.
Yeah, Commitments, has it? This was the last day of filming.
Now is it? Not content with dragging me.
It was difficult to get all the equipment onto the plane as we flew over to Jersey, wasn't it?
Very hard to film on a plane in this country. It's very difficult to...
And that shot makes you believe, hopefully, this is actually on a ferry, which it
in fact,
definitely
it was in a
wasn't.
normal building.
Yeah. Well, not quite an old building. It was in a polytechnic canteen,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
very near one of the oldest pubs in Britain, which is the Old Trip to Jerusalem in Nottingham.
And this
Right,
is,
funny Steve Edge here, nailing this disgusting character very well.
yeah, he's brilliant because it's very hard to make this guy likeable at all because he isn't in any way.
I sort of feel a bit... I know quite a lot of people like him, so I feel a little bit sorry for him.
Yeah.
Is the truth.
Yeah, I think he is likeable the way Steve plays him.
But we had lots of actors coming in who basically
Lots of actors.
played them without the likability, and it was just like, oh my god.
Well, not only not the likability, we were horrified by some of the choices.
Yeah.
Now, if you look closely at David Mitchell's face during the end of this scene, you'll see that he's smirking ever so slightly.
He's about to laugh.
Yeah, you will get that.
Now I'm worried about this.
That's nearly a not.
Actually, I was frowning there to slightly cover it.
Here we go.
Demi-corpse.
See it in the eyes.
Watch. Pause it and you'll see it.
Disgusting, right?
I think I could have held
You
it
get away
together.
with it. I think you get away with it, definitely.
It's very difficult. Now that's a little shot there of Jersey,
There was some
where
real
none
shots.
of the actors went.
Ever went. I went for one day with the camera crew.
This hotel building is actually in Chertsey, near the
And these
M25.
are real magicians and real tricks.
Real magicians, real tricks, really being done.
And I think to the Jersey thing,
Although that is me.
yeah. The Jersey thing, I think, came about because I think when we were first writing this script, we had in our mind that there was tax breaks to be had for filming in Isle of Man. I don't think even anyone told us that, but in a kind of servile way, we thought it was good to shoot in the Isle of Man. During the, long...
Spider-Man 3 set in the Isle of Man, I believe.
It is, yeah.
And they didn't get a penny for it. But
So this guy's called Pat Page. He's in his mid-70s. He's one of the world's most famous magicians. He's worked for Paul Daniels and Darren Brown and David Copperfield. And he is the guy that saw me my first magic trick when I was 13. That's the lovely Pat Page.
He's amazing.
And he really
He's
does
brilliant.
this. He just does that.
And that was Peter Capaldi, head of the judges.
Nice work, Wolfgang.
again, in the same way that Steve just came in and nailed Tony, Peter just came in and... I imagined this character much more as a sort of a fat, bluff northerner, is how I sort of imagined him.
Yeah, likewise. But Peter was sort of both perfect and a bit different.
Although our plan of sort of taking it in turns talking has gone out of the window a little bit, I'm going to hand over to Sam and Jess and go, do you want to have a little section? Is there anything you want to particularly say at this
Certainly,
point?
or unless you want to talk about directing.
I'd rather not do that. No, of course I would, yeah. But have a little chat first about the writing.
But I mean, this film is an Andrew O'Connor film, and I think in a very real sense that's a truth and not just a piece of bullshit that directors put on films, because you originated the idea of the film and you came to us with a treatment.
I did.
Which you'd written with 3 other guys.
Andy Nyman, Anthony Owen, David Britland, who are all magicians and have all absolutely lived through this world of magic competitions. And when I was 18, I entered a magic competition a bit like this, not quite as good, called the Young Magician of the Year, and I won it. And so in lots of ways it absolutely reflects parts of my life. And certainly Tony is based on 2 or 3 people who I really know. In some senses me in my early days. So yeah, no, it is. But chat about the writing about it. So I brought you this treatment, this storyline.
Yeah, and we thought it was a great world to write a film in, and we obviously knew and liked you and wanted to work with you, and thought, yeah, let's do it. So we kind of rejigged it quite considerably, brought in new characters.
I had the Isle of Man tax advantage idea.
That's what you brought to the table.
You needed it to be somewhere where Harry had to fly.
Absolutely.
To.
Well, that's. I think the Isle of Man thing was in the back of our mind. We set it on the Isle of Man, turned into a plot point, and then I think when we came to choose where we were going to set it, it suddenly looked a bit cheesy that we were doing it because of the Isle of Man, because some people knew about this the tax advantage that had since been abolished, and we had to find another bloody island of the UK where we could conceively have a magic competition.
A lot of people who've interviewed us actually have assumed that there's some tax advantage for shooting in Jersey, and I've had to say, no, we didn't even get to go there.
And also we wanted the beach, didn't we, for the head in the sand? That was another requirement.
So there's literally nowhere else you have to fly to with a beach other than Jersey in the world.
We can't think of it.
That we can
it's
afford.
The nicest
that
place.
we could afford.
We spent a whole morning with the Atlas, but it was an old Atlas of Lithuania.
Yeah. Very nearly set it all on the Baltic coast.
But the original treatment was a kind of mock documentary, Christopher Guest style, and the original draft we wrote, the script was in that style with lots of bits to camera, interviews and all shot like that. And it was more of an ensemble piece with 4 magicians who didn't really know each other that well, didn't have that much of a relationship, backstory. So then, when Ollie Madden came on board and
Say hello,
Intermedia...
Ollie. Say hello.
Hello. I've done that, haven't I?
Do it again.
Hello.
And, at that point we knew we wanted Dave and Rob to be the lead, so talking to you, Ollie, we sort of decided that we'd dump the mock doc thing.
Ollie chomped on his cigar and said, "Make it a normal picture, guys."
Kids.
He didn't at all. It was a creative co-decision. We all decided that there'd been a lot of those mock documentary movies around, including Confetti.
They're not always terribly successful.
And that there'd been enough of them, and we probably weren't Christopher Guest, so let's try and do a normal movie, right?
Yeah.
And that was quite a big jump for us and quite a big change, and took a lot of work in terms of readdressing the script, didn't it?
We had to cut all those speeches where they spoke straight to camera. And when you remember the draft where we just put, he talks to a bloke.
And he's funny.
And of course we had to sort of, the other big note, which was in a way bigger, which was trying to make it more about David and Robert's, Carl and Harry's backstory and about their relationship, because it wasn't really about that originally. So that kind of was trying to keep the material we loved while putting new material in about their relationship was sort of the biggest challenge.
And their rivalry.
Exactly.
Which is kicks into gear here.
Very good, and that will be very interesting for me.
There you go.
Carl takes off the red jacket.
Yes.
His former...
It's really Jersey. That was really Jersey. It isn't really Jersey.
Skegness.
Mablethorpe Beach.
So, Sam, tell me more about the writing process.
I sit in a room and you sit in the corner crying.
And thinking of tax advantages.
One of you does the vowels, one of you does the consonants, am I right?
Yeah, well, we sort of sit together in a room thinking of ideas, and then we go off and write dialogue separately because we need our flow, don't we? We need to get our flow on.
Yeah, need to check our emails.
And then we email each other relentlessly until we've finally done 50 drafts and we want to kill ourselves.
And how did you find the process of writing a film, Gaz, compared to writing a sitcom, which is what you normally write?
It's harder.
Why is it harder?
It's longer.
It takes like 3 times as long as an episode of a sitcom.
Exactly 3 times as long. Well, it's harder because for one thing, the characters have to change. In a sitcom, they resolutely don't. That's the whole point.
For tax reasons.
For tax reasons. So making it about characters changing while being funny is, you know, you've got drama-y bits. You've got to address some of that, and also the tone. You know, I think the biggest challenge for this was like, what's the tone going to be? Because Peep Show, we knew what that was, and we can do it sort of full series, and that's fine. But this was, is it a big, broad comedy? Is it a sort of dark, edgy comedy? Is it a mock doc, or is it not? And all that sort of thing was kind of the most difficult thing to get right, I think, for us.
What would you call it now? Just sort of hard-edged rom-com.
Hoot nanny good time. That's what they're going to put on the poster, isn't it? A hoot nanny good time for all with Jules Holland. Is Jules Holland going to be in it?
We're still waiting for Jules.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rom-com with lots of unnecessary swearing to piss off the parents.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that, isn't there?
I'd like to say that I can't drive, and yet in the film it looks like I can drive a quite large van.
Who was your driving double?
I don't know. It's like
He was our runner with a wig.
Oh yes, well, yeah. We never actually see him behind the wheel.
He's just wearing your jacket.
That levitation kit is total bullshit, of
Yeah,
course.
That's not how the
we
tricks
know
work.
how you do the levitation. It's
And
not
it
with
isn't
anything
done with
like that.
No.
You sort of wanted not to tell us how the tricks work for quite a long time. Then when we were actually filming it, you sort of couldn't anymore because we
Because
also
it's- because it's disappointing. The things that any magic secret you find out is, oh, it's that, oh, right, oh, okay, is that it? Oh, right, okay. Just-
Your favourite quote is
Was
the guarding the empty safe,
Yeah,
right?
magicians are guarding an empty safe.
Oh,
when
that's
you
a
open,
good
there's nothing
quote,
there.
yeah.
There's nothing to
That
find.
makes me think, though, that your programme, Secrets of Magic Revealed, was probably really full of oh.
No, we had to create amazing methods to give away. That's the
Oh, right.
irony. Though none of them were the real methods.
Apart
sort
from
of-
a couple.
How many series have you had commissioned?
Many sort of
So you
around the
genuinely,
world.
you Jonathan Creeked it all up. Made it seem.
I Jonathan Creed. That's what we did to make the methods more interesting. That's just what we did. Yeah.
No, it's certainly all the tricks I learned.
As you say, there's a thing coming up here. Look at that. That ball is going between your fingers in a very skillful way.
Well, thank you very much.
How long did that take?
Well, I was sort of fiddling with my balls in front of the telly for about 3 weeks.
This is gold.
A couple of hours a day.
Should
But
have put this in the film. This level of repartee.
she says, say it, Harry, say fuck them in the arse. My mum was sitting next to me during the preview and just whispered, don't. She likes you so much, though, doesn't like you saying horrible words.
Oh.
Yeah, and can I just say, if you are a first-time director, my main advice to you is don't set a scene in the back of a van, because it's very, very hard to shoot a scene in the back of a van because there's no room to move the camera around.
Looks nice.
Yeah,
it
looks
I quite like the way that scene's just basically all on one shot, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a very good reason for that.
Yeah.
Couldn't move the camera, and we didn't have a lot of time.
Saves. It just makes the acting a lot less of a
Yeah,
nightmare.
no, sure.
In the edit, Lucien Clayton, our brilliant editor, put Velvet Underground over this first scene, and I've always thought of it like that. And I just thought I'd mention that because I thought it. I'm sorry.
And probably you couldn't afford to keep it on, I imagine.
I don't know.
It's one of my favourite moments, actually. This line that you don't even hear him say. Probably puts Peanut Handbag, seriously. I really love that he gets a laugh and you don't even hear him say it. I love that moment.
It's one of our first rules of screenwriting, isn't it? Mention poo a lot, gets a laugh.
Yeah, mention the poo.
I mean, this morning I just sat down.
She mentioned James Welland again here, and just how lovely this looks. And then when they sit in those rich velvet chairs, how lovely they both look.
Isn't it?
All this just does look totally like a hotel, which it
Yeah.
absolutely
Wasn't.
was not.
Was it a RAF?
Disused RAF and what was it? You
Sort of
said
officers' mess. Yeah, we didn't
mess
even have
type
to dress
thing.
it that much. We put in some furniture, but all the panelling and everything was basically as it was, including the carpet. Rather gaudy, deep pile carpet.
When we were wrecking for the movie, it was a really important question. What's the hotel like? That would really set the tone for how, was it like an Alan Partridge, very modern motel? Was it a very old-fashioned hotel? It really helped set the tone for us, I think, and the look for the movie.
Occasionally there are ghosts of RAF fighter pilots, but most of those don't show up, do they?
Occasionally.
Yeah,
I
there's
think
a
only
special filter on the
if
camera.
you're watching in Region 2, what region? I don't know. What region are we in? We're in region 2, aren't we?
We're region 2, I think, yeah.
Things have come to... Britain is in region 2.
Unless this is a pirated copy, in which case it's any region.
Ooh.
So that is Scott.
If you're watching a pirated copy, just think of the jeopardy to future film production that you're causing.
Fact. So that is Scott Penrose, who was the Magic Consultant in the movie, who is in the Magic Circle, very importantly, and plays Magipot. And this is Jessica,
that's
genuinely...
not his real act, though, is it?
That's not, I must stress. Well, to be fair, it's sort of the real act, only he hasn't got a silver face. To be completely
So
honest.
it's worse than the...
No, it's not. Well, he doesn't robotic movements, but he does produce doves.
And to
very
make the
well.
dove flap its wings, you do something with your fingers.
That doesn't sound good. You don't stick your finger up any orifice of the dove. You simply make it move, like walk, and walking makes it flap its wings.
You stick your finger up its ass.
Well, that's what Damien's doing now. That's what's happening in the story terms. That's the joke.
I might leave the levitation kit here in my room.
So this was all ADR'd, wasn't it, this scene?
Yeah, because the way the trick works, it makes a noise every time the levitation goes
The
up.
little
in
magic elves that do it will stop chatting.
And they go,
they just don't understand film.
Oh, no.
ADR being additional dialogue recording that was recorded after.
Yes, the actors literally, you have to try and match a performance. It's very difficult to do, I think.
That was the way we
Always
sent
sounds
Ollie round on set was to explain what the acronyms meant. VCR, video recording equipment.
But it's worth saying while we're talking about the writing process, as we're meant to be, but I think everyone is having a great time all over us, that Andrew is incredibly collaborative, and not so one of Sam or I went down to set, I think, every day of the shoot, which we used to doing on TV shows, but it's not always the way it works in film, and it was very nice to be there every day.
Other writers look at me with jealousy and sort of go, wow, you got to be on the set, you know, you're amazing. So it was very, very nice for us.
Also, Ollie was there every single day as well. I'm not sure how common that is for your producer to be there. It was a very collaborative process.
And every scene that we're in, we were actually there.
Not always.
We
There was
turned
the
out
odd
for
scene
those.
you didn't turn up for.
Yeah,
There's a scene
no,
where
only
Rob-
once I wasn't in. Every time you see me on camera, that is me.
That's
There
not,
was-
quite-
there
that's
was
not
one
quite
day
true, Rob.
I
That's
just-
not quite true.
I just sent my photo.
Yeah.
No, there was a scene that you're in that you're not there,
Yeah.
Robert.
What's that?
There is. There's a scene in the movie. There's a shot of you in the movie and it's not you.
Oh,
Not on the
okay.
beach.
I look forward to that. Have we had it yet?
No.
Okay.
This is in the dealer's hall, which is sort of, we went to a real dealer's hall in a convention and saw one, and it's a weird atmosphere. It's a bit like, for me, we used to collect comics, it's a bit like a comic convention, very male, quite smelly, and with the occasional very scantily dressed woman walking around feeling slightly queasy at the...
Should just say how great Rasmus is in this. Sorry to keep interrupting.
Rasmus Hardiker.
He's excellent in it, and you sort of believe they're father and son. They're from the same Midlands.
They look a bit the same, don't they? Yeah.
They do.
And they're real magic dealers in the background. They're
All
real
the dealers there came for no, just I think just got a few £100 just to help us out. They all set up their real magic stores and they all demonstrated real tricks that they really sell. So that really helped us.
I love the look on Steve Edge's face at the end
It's
after
great.
he's
It's
made
good,
a
isn't
laugh with his joke. So predatory.
Yeah. So this is Mablethorpe Beach. I think it was it cold this day? It was cold quite a few of the days.
I'm afraid we can tell that it's cold by my body language, which is not ideal. It looks freezing.
I didn't know that. I wasn't there that day. I've never known it was cold that day.
Coming up again now, one of my favourite moments in the movie. Which
When he
is,
kisses me and
yeah,
there's
so
the look on
just a-
Darren's face.
That is a 12-year-old boy who just got kissed for the first time, isn't it? He's so great.
We were sort of concerned about this. For a while we thought about making Darren female.
Yeah. And the Carl's story would be he's gay, and in the film he comes to terms with it and goes off with a male Danny at the end.
I don't remember.
So you didn't even bother changing Danny's name.
we bought Danny for tax reasons. We couldn't change Danny. And said gone.
We're just a bit worried about the sort of the subtext of the sort of gay man who can't get it, ends up sort of lonely and slightly, I don't know. I
think we thought it'd be more interesting. For a while, we thought, is it a more interesting story to have?
But we kind of didn't do that because it seemed funnier this way.
Again, we see, lots of actors came in for the part of Otto, and Darren just has this amazing ability just to, the first time he reads it, bring it to life and hit the rhythms. People have almost got this feeling that comedy's easier than drama, but for me the truth is that as a comedy actor it's got to be real and it's got to be funny, you know, and that's a very hard thing to do.
Who's got the thing that comedy's easier?
I hear it all the time from people about, you know, it's not like drama, you know, drama's really serious grown-up stuff and it's sort of you just go, it's not true, is it? You've got to be funny as well.
This isn't a real toilet, is it?
No, it's the RAF place that we went to had loads of rooms that were just dressed up as...
Well, this was actually a real toilet, except that we put those urinals on the wall.
You're right, on that wall, you're right.
And it had a carpet. How many toilets these days have carpets in them?
It wasn't a working loo anymore, was it? You couldn't actually have a wee in there.
Yeah, is this...
There was a whole sequence we shot in this room with Harry putting a note under the door of Linda and then removing it with a fork, which was kind of funny, but we kind of thought, do we need it? No.
A little store of cul-de-sac, or didn't we, the story on a little bit?
Yeah, it was a sort of, is he going to tell her of his own accord, and then he chickens out and pays the price. But yeah, I think it works just better that he absolutely wasn't going to tell her, and then Carl...
Talking about the difference between sitcoms and film, one of the things about the film that I learned is that the story just has to keep moving. The story has to keep moving on. You can't just stop, really.
I think because in a film you sort of know you're going somewhere, don't you? Whereas in a sitcom you just think, well, I'm just here to sit and enjoy these jokes happening.
In defence of sitcom, I think you probably have to keep it going in sitcom too, but it's just that, you know, for a commercial station, it's 23 minutes versus 90.
So what's really challenging is the pacing, because you can't just have a relentless pace in a film in the way that you could get away with in a sitcom.
I'm actually sitting on a stool in a crate.
Are you?
At that moment, yes.
I wasn't down that day.
Yeah. I was made very comfy. I was a bit worried about the wasps, obviously, because I wouldn't be able to defend myself just with my tongue and...
And when we because you had orange squash painted all over your head as a joke.
That's right,
as well,
yeah.
Was it uncomfortable in the sound?
After a bit. But I was very well looked after.
Watching this bit in the movie, I always slightly regret that we didn't have him wee on him. And then I sort of feel like, it would have been very weed on him, and then something else had happened. But
we talked about it a lot, didn't we? And we even talked about, could we put it on CGI? Could we create some weed to go on his head at one point, we thought?
Didn't he?
That's James Bartman there, just saying, because I know him really well.
We all know him well. He's a very nice man.
He came down for the day and was in the middle of the big crew photo shoot on the beach.
As if he's the
director.
Absolutely. He was on my lap, I think.
Another Peep Show alumnus, Catherine Shepherd.
Illuminous.
She's a member of the Illuminati. She's very funny.
And in the background, on the far right there, is Alex Ferguson, our line producer, who gives an excellent performance.
Good performance. She looks over at exactly the right moment.
She's stealing this scene.
In the first take, I made her take her sunglasses off. She wore sunglasses in the first
Brilliant.
take.
That's the kind of thing, you can't put a price on that.
No,
that would have destroyed this scene if there'd been some idiot.
But it's only going to be
with
Alex listening at this point anyway.
Someone in the background with sunglasses or a Darth Vader helmet. Just
that bad.
Seems like it's funny having people in the background doing crazy stuff, but actually it ruins it.
Just is it.
Filmed at RAF Duxford on the final day of the shoot, which was a lovely sunny day, and we were all very happy, sad as we all said goodbye to each other.
Yeah. Sort of hit a stride, but the fear had started to leave us at that point.
You sort of hit a stride by the last scene, didn't you?
I think I knew what I was doing by then, sort of, and basically just let the DP do it. That's what I learned.
This scene set in London was actually shot in Nottingham.
And I remember a little boy coming up to you, David, and saying, "Are you the one that signs the autographs?"
Yes.
Are you famous?
That was your job.
Are you that one?
You called. I've been trying to get hold of you. Look, I just wanted to say...
Shall I do a little section on what it was like being a first-time director?
Yeah.
So I produced in television and directed in the theatre. I did a little bit of directing in telly, but this was really my first proper time deciding where to put the camera, and it was fairly terrifying. It's like going to war, as I describe it. And so what really helped was having an amazing a team that I'd worked with before in Sam and Jesse, and Ollie, who I got to know, who really helped. So, and then you have to pick your collaborators. So your DP is incredibly important. Your first assistant's very important in terms of helping you set up for the day, the choices over the shots, and we storyboarded the whole movie up front and didn't use a single one of those shots.
Is that right?
Yeah, didn't use a single one of the shots.
But it made you feel better.
It gave me some choices, is what it gave me.
You didn't use any of them.
Didn't use a single one of the shots that was storyboarded.
What was this storyboard? So shots of people's knees.
It's literally
And remains of the day.
all overhead shots. Yeah, and not a single.
What, because all the stuff on storyboard was sort of more adventurous technically, or just?
It wasn't that. It was that. For me, we had like 2 weeks rehearsal every day, and actors would come in. You guys would be there every day, and we'd rehearse the scenes, and we'd block it through, and we'd all talk about. We'd change the script sometimes. We'd talk about the performances, and it was quite detailed that work. And then I'd go back and do some work based on that. But once you get into a real location, that changes everything. And you wanted the actors to have some real freedom in terms of moving around. You don't want to be prescriptive with a comedy, was my feeling. I think with a big action adventure or sci-fi movie, there's real arguments for being very prescriptive. But with comedy, I just felt people had to feel relaxed. So it just felt that we were dictated by what was happening on the day. We shot this in Chiswick Town Hall, if you just say, and you'll find out how that trick is done in a second. That's not really how it's done.
Unless you can turn water into wine, this lot aren't interested.
So the challenge was, we shot it in 28 days on a tight budget, being able to make sure that you were getting the performances right and also make it feel like a film and not like television. Those were the sort of the main challenges that we faced. And so it's just having people around you who you trusted, and certainly having, Sam and Jesse and Ollie there every single day. And frequently we would go, is it funnier like this? Did you prefer that take? And we would talk about it, wouldn't we, together, and find a way to get through. And for me, the key thing, obviously, was about casting actors who I thought could really do it.
But you're under quite a lot of time pressure, right? This is a relatively low budget, is that correct, Ollie, technically speaking?
Yeah, it's not a no budget, it's not a micro budget, but it's low budget. And the thing that people don't realise about low budget films is that it's not so much not having the crew or not having the locations, it's about time. And it just means that you, rather than covering a scene in 7 different shots and having loads of choices in the edit, you just have to be much more decisive about what you need to make the film. And with comedy, it's even harder because you want to let the camera run and just see what happens, and you just have to be very militant about making your days and moving on, otherwise we wouldn't be able to tell the story properly.
Yeah, not just about letting the camera on and letting the actors have a play. What you really want for a comedy is loads of choices. You want a wide shot and a mid shot and a close-up and the 2-shot and the reverse and the other actors, so that in the edit you really have got lots and lots of footage to play with, and we didn't always have that. There's only 1 or 2 times when I think, we should have had some more shots. Most of the time, I think we've got the options.
I think it was really good. I mean, I know that there were tough days in the theatre where you were really, really pushed, but compared to doing Peep Show, it was actually, we found it quite luxurious, really, because we were shooting kind of 4 or 5 pages a day as opposed to 12.
Yeah.
So when you were terrific saying, let's just have another take just for you and let's have a play around, and that's, we never really get a chance to do that on television. So from our point of view, it was strangely laid back most of the time. Not the stuff in the theatre. That was pretty hectic.
Well, it's sort of slow motion panic, isn't it? In that everything takes forever, so there's quite a lot of time. There's loads of fucking time, but it's all going too
There
slowly.
are certainly days where you sort of feel that certainly as an actor, you feel that nothing has happened, and you feel you've got a lot to do that day, and you haven't said any of your words with a camera going.
Yeah.
But I think that was the case with television as well. But
yeah.
Well, the difference between film and TV, from my experience in making this, was it takes longer to turn the camera around. Every time you move the light, it's not 20 minutes, it's 2 hours. But the one thing I figured that I could deliver in the film, on the budget and the schedule we had, was very good performances. So, and I think we've really done that. So it was very, very important to me that the actors felt, whether they really did or not, had the flexibility to play and had some time to do it again and just try again, and all spend time getting the performance exactly right.
Yeah.
So even if we did feel stressed or panicked, it was important that you guys never knew that that was the case.
You were a very good stress sponge from that point of view. I don't think you ever emanated stress in the way that you claimed you were feeling it.
No, yes, certainly. I think you absorbed a lot of it. Although my problem is, I've always got my eye on the schedule. You just say, we've got to do 4 pages today. We've done 1, and it's 5 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
If people aren't showing that they're panicking, that's going to make me panic more.
Yeah, and
I think they've gone mad.
They can't really win with you.
Why are they scared?
Now that's quite an impressive trick. I have to say, I'm still impressed by that.
The levitation.
The hoop round the body.
Yeah, it's good, that, isn't it? And David learned it. And in fact, there's a little moment where you catch the hoop on the foot, and I think you were doing that on purpose. It was difficult, and I loved that Harry was a bit stressed. It didn't quite do the trick properly.
That was a choice, wasn't it?
Again, I think we should stress that just how lovely this looks. You know, James Welland. We took all day to shoot this scene. It was our most indulgent scene, but I think it just looks.
Also, we should mention Annie Harding did a great job with the costumes.
Amazing job on the
Jessica looks
costumes.
fantastic, sort of like a Thunderbirds style outfit there.
Sexy woman.
And Susie Moonican, who browned up David expertly. in
Yeah,
this
we
scene.
had sort of a lot of trouble getting that right because it's got to look sort of plausible, but noticeable that he's put all this fake tan on to justify the solarium story. And we actually shot an extra scene with that, didn't we? That
Yeah,
was
in the dressing
passed now in the dressing room with the vest to try and
Run in.
make that clear. But I think it is clear.
But this is an interesting scene because we originally shot this. The shot that's of the last shot of this scene, which is the only shot we did of him panicking and going fuck. Generally, it was kind of the other shots were very sort of robotic, sort of no emotion. And we struggled a lot with this story because there was a sense in which we didn't really know that Harry liked her for ages.
Was this an ad lib on the day doing the
Yeah.
fuck?
I think it was Andrew's idea.
Or did we just go, let's do one at the end where you show how frustrated and pissed off you are?
I think that. I mean, because it is. Yeah, it was a bit of a worry that at this point you just maybe think he just isn't interested, and that's not the case.
And we ended up writing and filming a whole new scene, which we did as a pick-up after the shoot, which will come later, which is the pros and cons scene in the bedroom to sort of indicate that he had some feelings, but otherwise you just don't know. Because, we can't bring in voiceovers like we do in Peep Show to say, I like her, without having to say, I like you, which he never would. So it's kind of, how do you write an emotionally repressed character without actually having them say anything? And
No one's ever worked it out. It's impossible, isn't it? That's why there aren't any.
Well, I think the scene we did sort of fixes that, but
Hopefully.
it did take a lot of thinking about.
But again, in that last scene, I just think it looks gorgeous and the performances are just amazing. This was an interesting case in point in terms of your timing and schedule. There's like an establishing opening shot, and there's a two shot of Robert and Darren, and then there's a two shot of Rosie and James, and there's two singles of you, singles of Darren, but I didn't have time to pick up singles of the other two actors, and so in the edit there wasn't quite the coverage. And again, that's the amazing thing about editing a movie is that you can change the whole essence of a scene and where the laughs come by when you go for close-ups and when you stay out.
This scene was based on a real interview me and Jesse did years ago when we were worried about how he'd going to come across in this interview with the Times about a programme, and we had a code word, Courtney Conti, who was a producer we were working with at the time, which we were going to drop in
if we were uncomfortable with what the other one was saying.
So we never did, but we thought it was very funny and used it in this scene.
But you didn't have to use the code word.
No, I think we should have done, but it was too late because I'd already put my foot in it.
What did you say?
I said we'd redefine the mainstream.
What was the show we redefined it with?
It was Days Like These, the disastrous
I think
ITV
you might
prime
have done, because
time.
I think the mainstream's sort of been going downhill since then.
Yeah.
So I think you possibly redefined it as defunct.
But it was also based on two incredibly depressed. It was those two TV execs. We went once to meet the two most depressing TV execs we'd ever met.
Yeah.
A guy who looked like he thought he was going to be fired, like not the next day, but later that afternoon.
Yeah.
And his young, much more up assistant.
Yeah.
It was a great pairing, this, and I love how tired and depressed the man is, and how you sort of
James is
imagine
good.
earlier in his career he maybe worked on shows that he cared about, and now he's just.
Yeah, I said to him that you used to be at LWT making big Saturday night shows, and now you're on cable.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing most dead people who've come alive again, walking around in night vision shows.
You should say it's James Smith from The Thick of It and Rose Keegan, who's very funny. And originally we wrote that character as Chinese, and I have to say it is a slightly depressing fact that there are no non-white actors in this whole film, because
we're really sorry about
it's
that.
great to try and write those characters, but it's just difficult when someone comes in who's really good like Rose and you think, well, she's brilliant and she should do it. It's just annoying. It'd be great
Another
to write.
challenge with the movie was to try and get the tone of the performances all to match up, so people weren't doing different sorts of comedy acting.
Yeah.
And so our casting was very important from that point of view.
And I have to say that, Ollie, you were very supportive on our casting, because our big worry was kind of like, are we going to get sort of given some, clunky star name who can't do comedy? And that never happened. It was, I think every single actor we've got was our first choice.
Absolutely. Ollie, do you want to have the floor for a little while and talk about how you got involved in the movie and the process and how it's been?
So I'd seen Peep Show. I was working at a company called Intermedia and that made this film, and I thought Peep Show was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen, and I decided that it would be a good idea to sort of flagrantly copy the Shaun of the Dead spaced model and figure out if there was some way of working with the Peep Show people to make a movie. And I harassed the writers, Sam and Jesse and Andrew, until they admitted to having written a script, or had a script called Magicians, which, as I said, was at that point a mock documentary, and I read it in a single sitting, which is quite rare, and I laughed out loud in my office on my own on at least 10 occasions, which is even rarer. And then by that point there are a few other people who wanted to buy the script and make it, but we were quite aggressive about it and managed to get into business. And then
Ollie was very, very aggressive. He would not take no for an answer.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I love that in a producer. I was going, well, we'll do the next draft, I'll pay for it. No, we want to get involved. He was fantastically aggressive.
He's a very aggressive man.
He looks aggressive, he's just generally
He's
aggressive.
physically aggressive.
It's too aggressive.
It's the one word you'd use, isn't it?
I would cross him.
Yeah.
I did, earlier on in my career, I worked for Harvey Weinstein, the founder of Miramax, and he has a technique which is when he wants something in business, he just doesn't stop until he gets it or doesn't get it. And so I sort of took that approach with this.
Well, it worked, well done.
And then we started quite a long and thorough process of creatively developing the movie and also putting the money together for the movie, which sort of worked in tandem. And the creative side was incredibly enjoyable and productive, and putting the money together was fairly straightforward, although with independent films there are always multiple sources of financing, and it's like a balancing act. If any one of them falls apart, then the whole thing comes tumbling down. And a week into shooting this film, we still hadn't what's called closed the financing, which meant that things were still being paid for on credit cards. And
I had no idea of this. Imagine, I was scared. It was my first movie. Can I do it? What do you do?
We had close to 100 people all in one place shooting who hadn't been paid yet for their first week of work. And someone was being difficult about a deal, and it looked like the whole thing was going to fall apart. And I was literally writing the speech that I was going to have to give to everyone, saying, "I'm really sorry, guys, but the show's over."
Bloody hell.
That's the first time
We
Robert and
didn't
David
know
have heard that
anything
story.
about that.
Well, I knew about that because I was in the car with you and you got the phone call at 6 in the morning, which I shouldn't really have been, but I didn't tell anyone, but I knew it was kind of edgy.
But would you have closed it down, or would you have asked him to work for longer without any money, or would it you officially would have had to say for insurance reasons?
I think you would have had to have closed it down because there would have been 20 or 30 people who would have been happy to carry on. There are a lot of people for whom this is just a job and they didn't really particularly care about what it is or whether it happened. They were just being employed, and you can't expect people like that reasonably to work for no money.
Although, just to jump in, another difference I found about making a movie to television is that in television, people just finish one job, go straight into the next job, and they might make 3 or 4 series a year. But it's a career. But I really felt making this film, there was an extraordinary commitment from the crew that they would, work incredibly hard, do longer hours, and just do whatever you wanted to. I've never felt that real extraordinary commitment before. It was amazing.
Should just say that we had some amusing negotiations that we had to get into to try and keep those lights in the background on. And there was one particularly surly and actually racist
in Skegness
owner of an arcade who was not very cooperative, but then reason prevailed and we managed to
money prevailed.
Can I just introduce Alex McQueen, who's about to appear on your screens, who's did a brilliant turn as the Stooge, another Peep Show guy, but from the thick of it. And he's quite brilliant.
This is probably coming up as my favourite scene.
No, if I had to pick a favourite scene in the movie, it would be this scene. If I had to pick one, I think.
He is fantastic.
Brilliant performance, a brilliant piece of writing, a fantastic monologue.
Yeah, and I just love your reactions to him, Robert. I just love when we go to the 2-shot and you see you look like this person a complete nutter. He's great in it.
And Ollie, did you refer to it as an independent movie? Is it technically? It is.
It's a hybrid in that it is independent because it's not wholly funded by a single studio, but Universal are our distributors in the UK and a number of other territories, and
got involved pretty early.
Got involved. We were incredibly supportive and enthusiastic about it. A guy called Ben Roberts, who had seen Peep Show and loved it, and fell in love with the script as soon as he'd read it, and they've been with us all along, and we're incredibly supportive and great.
Still,
and it's so part of the thing.
Do you have to say that for contractual reasons? I happen to know it's mostly true.
Yeah, it's also
amazingly, it is true. It often isn't, but that is true. And one of the sad things about independent film is that so many great films are made, but then never get distributed. So literally, about 50 people at a festival get to see them. And what's wonderful about working with a proper distributor is that lots of people get to see your film. So yeah.
Still reeling from the news that a weekend it might all have stopped.
Don't tell David things like this. He's already imagining conspiracy.
And that's a wrap for today. And actually, come to mention it,
Thanks,
for the whole thing.
Sorry. Bye.
We're making a short film now. We've got easily enough material
for a sort of nonsensical short
Still
film.
looking for sketches, Robert and David.
Well
Snip it
done
up
for
into
somehow
3-minute chunks.
Yeah, well done for somehow holding all that stress in.
Well, it was also that you were a real part of the creative process on the set, that you were there with me and Sam and Jesse, and we talk about every single take.
Script.
Yeah, of every single scene. And
we did lots of read-throughs and lots of long script meetings over lunch, and that was incredibly enjoyable, and just honing the script to the point where you felt confident about almost every line.
To the point where you felt like you never want to see any of it ever again, in my case. Yeah.
And it was a really great atmosphere on set as well, wasn't it? Where everyone... working on comedies is so great because you just get to laugh all day. So you'll just be sitting by the monitor, and when someone gets something really right and everyone laughs, it's a great feeling.
Yeah, it's nice to see when the crew laugh, although then you see the large joint they just smoked and you realise that they're laughing at everything. The pigeon walking around is hilarious, and it's not quite so funny.
Robert talked earlier about, I'd often say, OK, now just do a take for you to have a little play, just do whatever you want. And virtually every shot of you in that scene there is when you were just playing and messing around.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just sort of having fun. And this is the scene that you talked about earlier.
Yeah, which we sort of found out after we'd written it, that was sort of similar to the scene in Friends, which is a bit annoying, but I didn't know that when we wrote it. So
they do a pros and cons list, don't they?
Apparently.
Yeah, it's a good series to rip off.
Yeah. We didn't do it on purpose, I need to stress.
An artist
We're
only
so unprofessional,
accidentally
we don't even know what they put in their shot. But am I right in saying that this was a reshoot? After we watched the film, we thought, is this relationship
additional photography, we like to call it.
Additional photography. And did part of the note come from Scott Croup?
Yeah, our executive producer felt that there really needed to be a sort of climactic scene where they fought and argued and talked directly about their relationship, and Jessica confronted Harry about Linda confronted Harry about his feelings for her and her feelings for him, and they had this big row, and it's very funny.
I remember we did a bit of rewriting on the day. Jessica had a lot of ideas, and mostly very, very good ones, and we did a bit of rewriting at the end, her little speech about her list of pros and cons, including the haircut line, which I think, Dave, you were a bit worried about.
Well, I was worried because there's a joke that actually Johnny Vaughan had made first on a panel show, but
we have to credit him. We have to credit him.
I thought it was a bit.
Johnny.
Right, so this is a Friends Vaughan hybrid.
Yeah,
it's a Friends Big Breakfast hybrid thing.
But Jessica obviously is a writer as well, so had a lot of good ideas for scripts.
Stevenson, Vaughan, Bright, Kaufman.
They're natural collaborators, Stevenson and Vaughan. I would be amazed if they're not working on a project together.
Sure they are.
Another favourite line of mine about what's wrong with Thai food, I just think it's a bit samey.
Yeah.
Jesse wrote that. It wasn't entirely work of Johnny Vaughan.
But Johnny Vaughan was in almost every day.
Yeah, you can see him behind most bits of furniture lurking.
So this is pretty handheld, this scene, Andrew? Or it feels, I don't know if it's handheld.
It absolutely is handheld, and we wanted to try and get in there and make it feel that you were with those two people who are about to have sex. I gave Andrew a terrible note on this. I said, listen, this scene, he's about to penetrate you, and this happens. And she went to me, what? I went, he's about to put... I was going to go and get a little... It wasn't the greatest of notes to say to... she's a bit vulnerable, she hasn't got any clothes on.
And they're awkward sex scenes because the crew who are in the room at this point were entirely male. So there are about 20 big, sweaty men in shorts. and
quite
Andrea.
apart from you're not wearing much, it's quite tricky to block two people in a bed because they're sort of. I think that's we tried it several different ways.
Positions.
Well, I have to say it was Ollie's big idea to put her on top of him. You were very,
you say
that was my
whispered,
contribution.
You whispered to me, she should straddle him. You whispered it.
It's a little awkward though because we were rehearsing it and I didn't want to just say like I was some sort of porno producer.
Position 32.
Suddenly the producer gets involved.
You were very interested in this scene. This is the one scene you perked up about. No, because your thing was that they're often quite boring to look at, sex scenes, right? The blocking, etc.
Well, I felt that you actually needed to feel like they were about to have sex and it wasn't just a comedy scene with two people in bed.
Yeah.
Look, basically he likes me. I mean, that's the thrust of it.
So I hope you can feel the heat.
Yeah, and you're wearing shorts at this point, but we take them off for the last
yes,
shot.
I'm in jogging bottoms at the moment. Andrew was naked. She insists on it.
She was nearly all the time in the whole movie. Yeah.
She's very good in this scene, and I thought also Rob.
See, that looks beautiful.
Beautiful. And
It's
when
like an
she
art
goes,
film.
It's gone all French.
Yeah. What's going on?
And this is coming up is the obligatory Rob has it in every contract. He must appear naked.
Yes, that's become the law of Britain.
I was nervous when showing you the latest draft of this. I didn't know how you'd take it.
Well, I think it's just because it's not just a scene. Obviously, the payoff is when Otto opens the door, which I gather is consistently one of the biggest laughs in the film. So it would have seemed churlish to refuse to do it just because I slightly overdid it in confetti.
I guess we're going to have to give credit, aren't we, for Lucian?
Lucian Clayton, who was an editor who rarely got the chance to be at lots of read-throughs and early read-throughs of the scripts, and gave us some ideas, including this scene. This very funny scene was Lucian's idea, and it's, as Rob said, it often gets a big laugh in screenings, and it's
Darren does that's a great reaction from Darren. Look, eyes go down. He's just lovely. Oh, yes. Yeah, it's really great moment.
I'll play a little game, Carl.
And those are his real tattoos.
Those are his real tattoos, and he dyed his hair for something else, but I rather liked it. And that's the Theatre Royal Nottingham,
where we spent some pretty. This was, I think, the toughest stuff to shoot. Right?
We had, was it 3 or 4 days in the theatre, Ollie?
4 days.
Now, when this was shot, I believe there's a bit where he removes his fake penis and scrotum to reveal his real one.
Alexander
and I always thought that was extremely
and then weighs the two up to compare the comparative weight.
So he lifts it up. You see his real penis. In one cut of this montage, we had one. He lifted the one that you just saw. Then he lifts it up. Then we cut back to him and he weighed them and compared which was the biggest.
Now this day, the people coming into the theatre as well are all. They had about 700 or 800 extras, but actually they were real people who wanted to come down and watch a day's filming, and very patiently queued up, and then got we employed a comedian to keep them happy,
and we locked the doors from the inside, right?
We were talking about how tough the days in the theatre were. We had 4 days to film everything, and after the first day we were 2 days behind. That's how I remember. Yeah, we were just literally running, shoot, run, shoot, and the tough thing was that on most days we'd do between 15 and 20 setups a day of the camera, and in the theatre we were doing about 50 setups a day. And at the end of the third day, the members of the crew were lying on their back, just couldn't get up. Come on, just one more shot. I mean, not James. James was really pushing them, but it was incredibly tough. And all the shots with the audience, we all shot in about 3 hours, do you think? 3 hours I had an audience for. So every time you see a shot of the audience, you have to go, OK, what's happening in the story now is, please give us a reaction. It was not easy.
It's a beautiful theatre.
Yeah.
Theatre Royal Nottingham.
It's your stage. The
Darren was high on painkillers at this point. You wouldn't notice because he's fantastic, but he had massive toothache, didn't he?
He had a wisdom tooth that had basically exploded in his mouth. And I, rather appallingly, thought that he was overreacting and being hypochondriac, and
you screamed at him.
Just told him to get on with it. But yeah, as it turned out, he was in excruciating pain. But we drugged him up, and he managed to get through the scene.
And the reason it's in one shot is because I didn't want to have to make him do it more than once. It was just like, okay, let's do a 2-shot.
But he didn't have to. It was great.
No, it was great.
So you're getting ahead in the business again? Heady days, eh? Heady days.
And this was actually shot downstairs at the theatre.
This really is in the theatre, yeah. Not everything is, but this really was in the theatre.
And it looked like it all could fall apart for a little while, right? Because we had the theatre for 4 days. There's a production coming in, absolutely no give or take about that. And Darren could have easily been in an operating theatre, and there was a little bit of time when it was like, oh dear.
And we thought that we'd have to shoot him from one side, because when you have your wisdom teeth removed, often your cheek blows up like a hamster, and for continuity that obviously wasn't going to work. So we thought maybe we could write in something about him having...
or we'd find somewhere else that could be the theatre that wasn't really the theatre. It was all those difficult things.
Good anti-Jersey joke here that I enjoy.
Yeah, now again, one of the big laughs in the movie, isn't it? People love that joke when he does that.
It's a joke.
It's lovely, isn't it? Did you guys find acting? Was it the same? Was it different acting for a film? Did you think about any of that stuff? Was it the same?
It was overwhelmingly the same, actually.
Really,
And all the time I was sort of thinking, is the fact that I'm finding this the same a mistake? Should I be finding this different? But no, it's exactly, you're trying to make the jokes come across without looking like a terrible ham.
I mean, you're sort of aware that your face is going to be, much, much bigger than usual, so you don't want to do too much massive gurning, but then
You don't want to on telly either,
as well. So.
Right.
I love this costume that Harry's wearing in this scene.
Why would I?
Yeah, Black Widow costume. So again, we were incredibly short of time, but James just managed to make it all look lovely. Those lights hanging, the green light everywhere.
See you on stage.
This was like, I know, if our end of our day was 8 o'clock, this was 2 minutes to 8 that we got this last shot of the guillotine going through. Da, da, da.
And after the rings of
So this is a real trick, real flower trick, that again you had to practice and learn. Can't tell you how it's done, but the timing's very important.
Did Scott Penrose create this trick?
Didn't create it, but he certainly brought it in for us.
He had the van.
He had the van, well, he had the prop. He sourced the
You can
prop.
see a couple of empty seats in that last shot of the audience,
Yeah.
and that's because that shot was done towards the end of the day, when
He's all had enough.
the unpaid extras had thought, sod this.
Yeah, I think they were slowly discovering that watching a day's filming isn't at all like watching a film. It's watching 40 seconds of a film again and again.
Yeah, unless you've got a job, a movie set's a very, very boring place.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Although Jessica went out and entertained the crowd with a Q&A.
She had a little chat with him, didn't she?
Until people started asking her about her sex life.
Did you ever sleep with Simon Pegg? That was pretty much
Yeah,
the
that was
first
a bit
question.
Yeah, that's not right, is it?
I shall cast the spirit sphere at total
So
random.
here's your mind-reading act.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that you really practiced throwing a ball over your shoulder into that.
I did. Well, we were
basketball.
chatting about something else while the scene with me practicing. But yeah, no, that was a good 2.5 hours in that hotel practicing.
And you did it.
You did it.
Yeah, eventually, because I thought this could be something that takes a very long time to shoot. So I didn't want to be the guy who holds up the entire film. 'Cause I can't get a simple basketball in a hoop over my head.
Backwards.
So the big trip's about to come up, and again we had a stunt coordinator come in and help us work out the trip and the hitting of the head, and we shot it in lots of different ways. And I was really scared that we wouldn't be able to edit it and turn it into a moment that really worked, because you've got to really believe that he's knocked out.
I love the slow motion.
It's a big
great.
turning point.
It does look vicious.
Such a good thought.
But
And Alex McQueen, I think, very gallantly agreed to let us shoot that about 15 takes of his head hitting the ground.
We did it a lot. And then Lucian, our editor, edited it, and pretty much from the very first preview we did, we didn't really change the cut of the trip. He sort of got it right first time. I was really scared about it.
Adrian Hood there, very good security guy.
The human mind. And good. So I will now search the spirit zone.
And in writing narrative terms, the ending was the thing we spent the most time trying to get right. Yeah, there was a lot of different endings to the film that we went through.
Yeah.
Well, for a long time, at the end, it was Linda who went into the guillotine and had her head cut off. It wasn't Carl. That went on for a long time, didn't it?
And there was a whole sequence of Harry being the guy who came on stage in the middle of Carl's act to help him out.
Yeah.
And contacting Carol, his dead wife.
And they were, yeah.
Yeah, so that now Harry went, oh, no one will help you, I'll help you, contact Carol, yeah.
Sort of like the way it works the other way around.
Yeah.
But it was your idea, I have to say, Andrew, to do the Carl volunteering to be guillotined as the climax, which I think we all felt was the ending.
Sort of brought them back together again, didn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of felt.
Otherwise, it was sort of two endings: Carl's ending, then Harry's ending.
And you really want to see that guillotine at the end. I think,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we always had the guillotine going down. I think.
Yeah, I think we did. So as you can see, there are, if you look very closely, in fact, sometimes the audience members change their places because we had to move them around, so people vanish and disappear next to our actors. That happens quite a lot.
Just like magic.
Just like magic.
I'm sure you do.
So you're about to go mental here, Robert.
Yes, indeed.
And we did various levels of mentality.
Yeah.
For us to have the choice in the end.
No, we had a good old play with that. A few journalists have actually been surprised that we come down quite hard on mediums and people who exploit vulnerable people by pretending that that they can talk to the dead.
It's been quite, people have been quite. Some magicians saying, well, a lot of people believe in that kind of stuff, and surely, you should be a bit careful. And you go, well, no, it's nonsense. These people who pretend they can talk to the dead are lying, and they're exploiting people who believe that. But the people who believe that are culpable to an extent because they're that stupid.
So that's the shot. That's the shot that you're not in. That isn't you.
Oh, that was me.
Walking past.
Ah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
Looks
Thanks
like
for not bringing me in that day for just to do that.
Yeah, we should say actually that in quite a lot of the scenes where you see Peter Capaldi.
Is that me?
No.
No.
Where you see Peter Capaldi, that's you. Where you see Peter Capaldi reacting to moments of both your act and then Harry's act later, that all those shots were picked up much later. We did some right now reshoots or additional photography.
Yeah, it was really after watching the very first cut of the film, we felt that there wasn't enough jokes in the finale, and having Peter in the wings giving his funny performance really helps that. I think it was great to be able to do that.
Also, I have to say, Lucian again, so we shot the semi-finals first, and Lucian said, the reactions of Peter Capaldi really help. You should do that when you get to the final. I went, oh, we won't need those. What are you talking about? There's so much going on. Well, of course, he was absolutely right, so we went back and picked them up. Not that we'd had time to film them on those 4 days anyway. Again, it's just a beautiful shot. Look at that. James did a great job, by the way. Mandy Pandy.
And that's the actual trick there is a real trick from the 40s, yeah?
He produced lots and lots of flags.
I remember seeing an old poster from a music hall saying so-and-so, he fills the stage with flags.
And of course, classic would be the Union Jack right at the end.
Yeah.
Then you get the lots of applause, and off you go.
And then they burn it.
So what are you hitting your head on here?
Some
David?
sponge foam.
We put a little foam up, didn't we?
There's sponge foam, and if you can see, the pipe actually moves when I hit it in a way that a real pipe like that would not. It would be cast iron and beyond the power of human head to judder.
Do you want to talk about the change that we made to the actual script in this scene, about the things that we took out?
Yeah, right. It used to be more explicit. We always felt there was a difficult thing at the heart of the movie of their relationship and what they thought about, especially what Carl thought about Harry. And really, this is the point at which Harry might, in another film, say, oh no, I didn't really chop a head off, and look, I've got this little screw which shows that it all went wrong. And we did a little bit of that, a little bit more of an emphatic kind of I didn't murder her stuff in the original script, right?
Yeah, but then we thought it's a bit crap to...
In the edit, a lot of that stuff came out.
Well, the truth is that on our the opening, the last night we had a party at the end of the shooting, and we showed some rough scenes that Lucian just sort of roughly bolted together. And one of the scenes that we saw at the party was this scene. I remember, Sam, you turned to me, you said, and this was the old version of it where we really believed that David hadn't killed Linda, or Harry hadn't killed Linda. And you said to me...
I do quite an emphatic line about saying it was just a terrible mistake.
Absolutely, it's much longer. And you turned to me, Sam, and you went, it's a really great scene, but at the end of that, that Harry didn't kill Linda, and therefore there's no jeopardy when Carl puts his head in the guillotine, and that sort of... So we worked very hard on that.
Yeah, difficult balance to strike.
We also wanted to make it, to not have their relationship be resolved, and not have Harry just forgive Carl, so that you do think he might just not do the safety catch and chop his head off at the end.
And we did reshoots of the final guillotine scene to give a bit more jeopardy and a few more jokes as well, didn't we?
Not reshoots, additional photography for some reason.
And I just want to say, there wasn't that
Pickups.
much additional photography.
It's 2 days, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was 2
Why?
days.
Because additional photography / reshoots has bad connotations, as if you haven't done it right the
It
first
does,
time.
although people like Woody Allen actually schedule a week of additional photography just as part of his process, because with comedy especially,
Yeah,
you
it
need
has
to
no
see it on the
negative
run before...
connotation for me. I feel like, great, go
It was-
back, you
it was-
fill in.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It was great that you had already budgeted for that. It made a huge difference that we could go and do those scenes. A lot of which we deleted immediately after having filmed them, weirdly,
That's
though.
true.
We shot a
But
bunch
if
for the
you
beginning
press
of the
your
film.
remote control,
Yeah.
you can watch them
Go
all
to
on the
those
deleted
scenes.
scenes.
Well, yeah, so there was a whole scene that we shot in the where was it? It was in Kingston upon Thames town centre, of Harry doing tricks and not impressing the public supposedly from his wilderness years.
And there's a scene of Robert.
That was cut immediately.
And there's a scene of Carl doing mind reading for the children's party.
Oh yeah.
And they're all
I've completely forgotten
that you
that.
did it. And they're really funny scenes, but at the start of the film we just thought we wanted to get on with the story and get into it quicker and not set up the characters, which was their job. So that's the scene that was just picked up afterwards, and we just dressed part of that RAF place that looked like the theatre, and we put the camera on. It's amazing. That you
And the
can't
Carmina
really tell.
Burana is so important in the scene, and we listened to about 52 different versions to try and find one that was the right speed and the right tempo.
And that we could afford.
And that we could afford. Because you have to pay every single member of the orchestra.
Brilliant.
So in fact, there's only one person playing every instrument in the version that you're hearing, but he's very
It's
talented.
just a very, very expensive synthesizer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Harry, I can't.
But music we should mention, Paul Englishby.
Yeah, Paul Englishby did a really great job on the score. I think there's a real challenge in terms of, obviously it's a very broad comedy, but also there's a heart and a rom-com and emotion to it, and Paul managed to pull those different strands together. It was tough.
Well,
He played it all on an instrument called the orchestronium, didn't he? Where he played, it's like a tuba, but it has all the different instruments.
But the truth is, in reality, he recorded the soundtrack at Abbey Road.
I came in and
that
saw
was a
you there.
really
Very
fantastic
exciting,
day. All these, and they actually record the score of the movie to the shot, so you see your movie and you're there playing live at the same time. It was really exciting. Thing. Here we go. Look, it's all going to be all right. They're back together again. Our two heroes.
Now there is a logical flaw in the setup, the magic setup of this ending, which no one has ever commented on other than you, Jesse.
Yeah.
Which is, how does he know?
Well, obviously, they need a fake head for this trick to work.
That matches Carl's head.
Yeah.
In my head, what happens is, I think
there's some other method.
Yeah, that it's not a fake head, that his whole body drops.
But it looks like it's just his head dropping.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
then-
what I imagine.
And then he goes
Yeah.
through the trapdoor in the stage and runs up to the back.
Yeah.
And weirdly, this
I hope
scene...
this isn't the first time you're watching this movie, because if you haven't watched it,
You've
normally
made it.
first,
If you've chosen to watch the commentary first,
that was a
then
big mistake in terms of plot.
yeah.
This scene, as the beginning does, has weird echoes of The Prestige, which
Yeah,
came out
that's-
well after we'd finished filming.
Absolutely.
But luckily, we'd seen the script early enough to steal most of it.
Those safety mechanisms have absolutely nothing to do with the working of this trick.
They don't. So we're about to see the fake head, and the fake head cost a lot of time and money. And we
So it was, yes.
You had to match the exact calibration of hair loss as well, which is not easy.
Obviously, Rob was losing a lot of hair during
Yeah.
the shoot because of the
So we
stress
had to
involved.
keep adjusting the fake
So
hair.
you should pause it. If you can pause it now. There you go. Are you back?
It is good.
And go, how real was that head? I was obsessed with, on a big screen, will it look like Robert's real head?
I think
quite
it's
right, yeah.
We
completely
have no
does.
end to a movie.
Who designed it?
Well, Susie Munikin, our
Susie.
makeup designer, did a lot of
A
work
lot of
on the
last
hair
minute.
and the
brilliant.
colour,
Yeah.
and the weight had to be right so that it would fall right, and the distribution of the blood on the blade.
No, I
complex
kept
stuff.
making Robert kneel next to the guillotine with the fake head and then going, just taking photographs and at the same
The
time.
glamour, the unending glamour.
Yeah, I was terrified that you go, it's just not his head, is it?
But now you use the head and send it to casting.
I do, yeah. Casting directors I don't like.
Now, we tried a lot of different songs, didn't we, on that scene? Things like Champ, and we ended up going with the Jimmy Smith track that we opened the movie with.
To make that work. And now we're into giving out the awards. Do you want to talk about the I don't actually love you moment? I can't remember where it came from. I don't know what
I think
draft
it came,
went
like
first.
most things in the script, from the writers.
No, I mean, obviously. Well, you didn't ad-lib it on the day. I mean, at what point in the process of writing the script it happened? How early it was in?
I can't remember, but I remember we definitely wanted. It's kind of, you know, we're writing obviously a feel-good ending where people get back together and it's all great and everything gets tied up. But we also really wanted to undercut that because it's a very potentially sugary, cheesy kind of tone.
I remember talking about it a lot in rehearsal to decide how far we try and actually sell the initial "I love you,"
the Richard Curtis homage.
Exactly, and I think, you know, I think we went the right way. Let's just play it as if he's saying that, and in the hope, basically, of briefly disappointing a lot of people, and then going, no, it's all right, we don't mean it. There's no such thing as love.
Or certainly Harry would never choose to declare it to a theatre full of people.
Well, exactly. It looks like something totally out of character, and it's great the way it turns out he's not really doing that.
But there's that brilliant few seconds where you think the audience is thinking, oh shit, they've completely sold out.
Yeah. The shame is that quite a lot of people tend to leave.
Having no idea that we
disgust.
Pull the rug on it. But it's one of my favourite moments in the movie. I think it's great. I love it. And you can feel it when you watch it with an audience. You can really feel that they're going, what? Oh, it's all right. And they laugh, and it sort of makes it all okay again. There's a great thing where she gets given the trophy. She sort of looks at the audience and smiles. It's a really cute thing Jessica's about to do that I always love. I love that. It's cute. Look, I got it.
Sorry for walking out on you, Harry.
Listen,
Again, this is 5 minutes to midnight on the last day. We've got.
What I remember most about this bit is the first time we shot, because we didn't rehearse the kiss because it's too embarrassing. That would be fine on the day. And then the first time we actually did it was on that shot with 700 strangers. Just, you know, I've not done many on-screen snogs, and I sort of thought, my God, this is embarrassing. But at least I didn't have any time to prepare.
Now, we shot this in a retirement home on the Skegness coast.
Yeah.
Well, it's a rather wonderful institution where it's shot. It's for Nottingham
miners.
Yeah, it's retirement for miners.
Or rather than a retirement home where they can go for
convalescence.
Yeah, well, no, it used to be where they went for holidays as well. But I think because there are now fewer and fewer working miners, it's the retirement side has dominated over there. But didn't the production had to pay for all of the residents
to go and see?
Oh, is that cruise ship
excellent.
opera
She's excellent. She's
singer
excellent.
woman?
And I
can't remember her name. She's not excellent. She's awful. Anyway, they all
Andrew
went,
likes her.
They all went to see her.
Isn't it good? I can't remember what her name is, so we can't be seen.
Yeah. Anyway, think of someone awful, and that's who we mean.
Steve Edge went to had a little apology to that lovely brunette lady that he winces at.
Did he go and apologise?
He said, you know, because I think he felt a bit bad.
All right, well, that's the end of the film, virtually. We should just... What our favourite scenes? For me, it's the Stooge, where you first meet the Stooge, and the moment where it's I Don't Actually Love You. That's what I'd pick. Ollie?
You picked two, and they're the best bits.
You can't say what I said. You've got to say something else.
Poo in a handbag, and then also when the Stooge says the exact thing that he says only bad Stooges would say.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it.
Jesse?
Everyone's chosen one of my favourite bits, so I'm just going to look like a copycat.
I like the Universal logo at the front of the next to look like a proper thing.
That is so great. That was exciting when you first time you saw it, wasn't it?
Very exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
We go, ooh, this is very proper. I like it when it looks like Carl really is going to get pissed on. That makes me laugh.
Right.
Yeah, I like the pissed on bit, I think, but I actually really like the guillotine trick at the the whole Carmina Burana bit.
Yeah, right.
Actually gets me because it's a very it's cheesy, but it's also quite stirring.
Sure. Well, it's very well edited, I think. Disney did a great job on it.
I like Wilkinson's actually. I like when the knife goes into the arm because I like that.
All right. Well, that's it. Thank you for listening. Hope you like the movie. Anything else you want to say before we go, gentlemen?
I'm sorry for slagging off the singer woman who we didn't name because I think I've upset Andrew.
Listen, I'm off to have dinner with her. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
There you go. Commentary for our movie.
to make sure they don't record this bit. 'Cause, you know, that's sort of saying. Yeah, and I think we did pretty fucking well.
We talk about our favourite bits in the commentary.
What was your? I liked it when I mentioned someone at the start. Again, that's what I liked. I couldn't remember someone's name.
Oh my god, my poor back.
Okay, Carl, I know you're playing in Blackpool tonight, and guess what? I'm in the sand, Carl. I'm buried up to the neck in the sand. And the tide's coming in, that's right. So you gonna come and dig me out? Because I'm not doing it myself. Come on, Carl. Come get me. Really hope you get this message.